Today, we have some methods and functions. Now, to make the functions easier than before. For example, instead of range, we give name to that range to call it everywhere we want. Without saying anything, I want to introduce you name function. Names. Do you remember for some functions we had ranges? Now, instead of selecting the range, I want to give this range a name. Let's use sum function. When I type sum, it wants me to modify numbers. So this function will sum these numbers and back me the result. I insert number 1, number 2, or even I can select a range. Okay, this is the range. And instead of selecting the range, I can modify the name of this range and type the name. For example, I want a name for salary column. For this purpose, go to Formulas and define name. Here, define a name for the range. Because I want to give a name for salary, so I choose SLR. Then select the range in refers to. Once we select the range, then later, instead of range, we just type the name SLR. In refers to, select the salary range, then OK. Now I type sum again. Instead of range, I type the name of the range SLR. It is here. Select it and press on Enter. You see how easy it is? Offset function. I want to set a start point. Then with addressing, find the intended cell. Let me ask you a question and want you to answer it. Start from Sarah, 3 rows down, and 4 columns to the right. Now tell me, what is written in this cell? I give you a hint. Imagine this puzzle as a vector, and Sarah is a starting point, so it is 0. Regardless to your answer, I want to tell you did exactly offset function here. Let's see how it works. I type offset. The reference is 0 point. What was it? It was Sarah. Then the row is 3 and column is 4. I press on Enter. The offset function found 30. That's clear. Let me play with offset a little bit more. As I told you, imagine that it is like a vector. Negative and positive works well here. Instead of 3, I type -1. It found days. So, reference is 0 point because it is negative. And instead of coming down, it goes up. Then 4 columns to the right. So it shows days. Column 0. Before pressing Enter, what do you think? What does it show? Think about it. It shows the name. So, with positive rows, it comes down. With positive column, it goes right. With negative row, it goes up. With negative columns, it goes left. Apparently, offset returns the result with 5 inputs. 1, a starting point. 2, a row offset. 3, a column offset. 4, a height in rows. 5, a width in columns. As you see, there is other 2 inputs than row and column. I want to show you the usage of these inputs. I copy offset. Row is 3. Column is 4. And I add 1 as height and 1 for width. The result is 30. Now I want to change height from 1 into 2. As you know, 2 is the height, so it must show 26 and 30. Because two values can't be written in a cell, so it shows the error. Let me clear it. When the height and width are rather than 1, there would be an error. So for solving it, this function should be mixed with another functions. If I type sum before offset, then press on enter, you see it worked. It found 30 with offset because the height is 2. It comes down and finds 26. Then with sum, it gives us the total of these two cells. I change width into 2. This range is summed up and shows the total number. Now we learned some important and expected functions in Excel. It is time to mix them together, make a dynamic and useful functions. Dynamic function. Now I want to define a name with a range, but a dynamic range. What does it mean? For example, we define SLR as salary range, but this is predefined range. If I add a salary under salary range, for example 1,000, as you see, it is not counted and summed in SLR range. I have to expand the range. From formulas and name manager, find SLR and expand the range. This is what manually we do. But now I give you a magic function. The performance is magic. We are completely aware of these formulas. We learned them previously. Just combine them and create a dynamic list. We had SLR name. Now I want to make it dynamic. First, I have to fully comprehend this formula in my mind. I want to modify a formula that starts from I4 till 50. For example, when I add something in this range, it must be counted. From formulas and name manager, select SLR and make some changes in its formula. We use offset. The first parameter in offset is a starting point, then row and column, and first is height. I select the start point. It is I4, the first cell of salary. I don't want to move in row, so it is 0. For the column, we don't move again, it is 0. The third parameter is height. I can say that count height, but not blank ones. So we have to use a function that counts, but not the blank ones. What is it? Yes, count A. If wonder what is count A function, check our count functions lesson. Don't forget to type count A in uppercase. The first parameter is value or range. The range is from I4 and I drag it down, and instead of 15, I type 50. You can type 2000. It must be a wide range. Then I close count A. Until now, this formula counts salary range, which starts from I4, but doesn't count blanks. Now I have to type the last parameter of offset. It is the width. Width is 1. Close the parentheses. Check it, then close. Let's check it. Now this 1,000 is counted in sum with name, because here we use SLR name as range. It is working. It is dynamic now. I type 200 under 1,000. It is summed. Let's check it from name manager. Select SLR. Yes, it is working. The range is until 200. Close. I remove 200 and 1,000. Again, check it. That's it. So without going to name every time and change the range, we modify once and use it anytime we want. The important note here is that there shouldn't be any blank cell. I type 1000 and 200 again. Then I remove 1000. 200 is not added. That's why there is a blank. Please consider, in the range, there shouldn't be any blanks. Instead of blank, we can use 0 or dash.